that's good. I mean, yeah, because that's another thing I've heard about Jason Statham as well, that he respects stuntmen like anyone else. Like, he doesn't look down on stuntmen. He respects their work because he always says that in a way that without them, this never would have worked out. And I think he said a few times that there should be an award for stuntmen, like especially at the academy, is that there should be an award for people who they put their lives on the line, and I've seen that happen so many times as well. I mean, I've mainly done a lot of theatre work, so there's not been mad stunts on there like jumping off the top rail or anything like that, or swinging down the curtains and scaring the audience. Don't get any ideas, anyone. And but it's true, because without the stuntmen, it never would have worked. I mean, I've spoken to quite a few stuntmen on my show now and everything, like yourself, Brian Vigier, Anthony, Giovanni Elias. Awesome work everybody does, and I see the work ethic they put into it. And it's true though. It's like remembering a dance to a certain extent.
Yes.
It's remembering all the moments, the choreography, because the slightest twitch, it could cause some serious harm to you, can't it?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So what was William Zabka like? Did you get to meet him on set of Cobra Kai?
I did not get to meet William. I didn't even get to work with him. So my only interaction at all was he sent a message to the first AD, and the AD relayed to me, and he was like, you nailed it, great job on the scene, glad to have you. So anybody from the only person I didn't meet from the set was William Zabka, or from the show. When I was able to go to the premiere for part 3, I pretty much met everybody there, but I didn't get to meet William. So William Zabka anyway. But no, I mean, from what I gathered from everybody, he seems to be a great guy. They call him Billy, on set. The first person I met besides Ralph was William Christopher Ford. He came up to me, introduced himself. And he was excited to meet another Japanese American on set, which is, it's very important. I think that's a topic that doesn't really get discussed in great detail, where you have characters who are Japanese American, and again, there's people who feel one way or the other about it. But for me, because there really isn't that many opportunities for specifically Japanese Americans in mainstream. To me, it's really important that the production really goes out of the way and tries to find, representation of that. Obviously, things get in the way, especially like Netflix. They're like, we want to put someone who's more of a celebrity, a name in this role, and they happen to be Japanese or Japanese American. That's, it's out of my hands. But it does feel good when production goes, no, this person is Japanese. We're gonna hire a Japanese person or a Japanese American person, And Pat, even though he played a Japanese person, he's a Japanese American, from Hawaii. And really, Mr. Miyagi, we all have seen him as a Japanese American icon, because of his role. But even though he's first generation Japanese, so being able to portray him as a Japanese and Japanese American is great. And that's William and I just bonded over that. Doing like, hey, it's really cool that you're Japanese, because he was actually wondering. He's like, who are they gonna cast for this guy? And, so he's like, oh, this guy's Japanese, So, and I owe William Christopher Ford all the pictures on set, because he took everything. And then the only other person I met during the filming was Thomas, who plays
Terry Silver.
Terry Silver, yeah, he really really cool guy too. And he was there because the guy. He was filming his scene literally right next door. So he kind of walked over, and I just said, "Oh, hey, I'm Brian. I'm playing a young Mr. Me." He goes, "Oh, okay."
Now the real pain begins, Danny boy.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then obviously Ralph. Ralph is great. Again, it's so interesting and inspiring to watch Ralph work because, you know, a lot of people who don't watch Cobra Kai, you know, unfortunately, they don't look at Ralph Macchio as like a serious actor, and like he's like, oh, he's a Karate Kid, you know, like, but no, that, you know, Ralph takes everything very, very seriously. You know, even when because again, he's not just an actor; he's an executive producer and all that stuff like that. So it's really cool to see Ralph put on these different hats, you know. And but when he's in a specific role, when he's playing Daniel LaRusso, he's Daniel LaRusso. He's not Ralph Macchio, executive producer, looking. He's just there, and he's very, I would say, very present, but at the same time, very open, even to me. Like he's making sure that I'm getting what I need in my scene, you know, that he's delivering, you know, his lines and checking in, all that kind of stuff. Like even to the point where when we're doing my coverage, you know, he's like, I'm going to stay, even though I know he has tons of stuff he has to do. And, you know, there's people hounding and be like, hey, you got to change. He goes, no. He's like, no, we don't need to do that now. I need to stay for Brian. I need to, you know, and I was like, no, it's okay, Ralph. Like, I appreciate it, but I understand. You got to go change. You got to do. He's like, are you sure? He goes like, cause I want to stay here. And I was like, if you want to, but if you're busy, man, it's fine. All I'm doing is just kind of looking down, and you know, I'm good, man. So he goes, okay, all right. He's like, but if you need anything, let me know. I'll come back. But it's just really nice to have someone of his caliber, like really checking in on me, you know. And of course, the gravity of the character I'm playing really reverberates more for him, because like I remember we're just kind of, you know, during takes we're just kind of standing there. I think, and he turns to me, he goes, I gotta say, when I close my eyes and I hear your voice, I feel like it's Pat. Like I'm getting goosebumps. Like I'm getting chills. He's like, I've been waiting for this scene for such a long time. And he goes, man, you're doing such a great job. So like just getting, I don't know if he really meant him. I'm sure he did, but he didn't have to turn to me and say that. But that, you know, gave me like a green light. Like, okay, what I'm doing on this set right now is great. I'm not only talking to, you know, Daniel LaRusso, I'm talking to the executive producer of Cobra Kai. So if he's having a good time and he's enjoying it, and it's giving him some sort of emotion, I'm like, okay, I must be doing something right. So, but yeah, everybody on set on the Cobra Kai, they were great. You know, I've been on some sets where like it's like, oh, okay, but yeah, everybody was awesome. So, and the fact that I was able to, you know, do a good job was just a cherry on top. Because sometimes you can't tell. They'll be like, "Oh, it was great, it was awesome," and then once you're like, "What the hell was that?" Like,
yeah,
can we fix that? Yeah, so
it gets like that. Well,
yeah.
I have to say again, as a fan of Cobra Kai, as a fan of Karate Kid, as a fan of martial arts, the fact that you did a fantastic job playing Mr. Miyagi. No, sincerely, you did a fantastic job playing the young Mr. Miyagi, because you can understand that there's a lot of pressure. Again, as mentioned, because it's an iconic role. And I'm sure it's the same way in a way that what Robert De Niro felt when he played the young Vito Corleone, because Marlon Brando did such a unique job playing the older Vito Corleone in Godfather 1, but having to step into taking a step back and going into like, what was he like before he moved to America?
Exactly.
And like having to learn fluent Italian, you know, Sicilian, having to learn everything. Because remember, there's not one dialogue he says in Godfather Part 2 that's in English. It's all in Sicilian. And again, without them two, it never would have worked. Without you and Pat Morita, it never would have worked. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be honest. As much this is speaking out of love, speaking out of respect. That again, thank you so much for bringing that character back to everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was thinking of the fan base. Really, I was like, man, because really, I'm a fan too. It's like if I'm watching this, am I going to be like, what the hell is this? Or am I going to be like, okay, yeah, all right. And I think the best thing is that people weren't distracted, right? They were able to really enjoy that segment of that story, and it wasn't so jarring to be like, oh, that's not Pat. I think the only thing that really jarred them was like the whole CG Pat Morita morph thing. But other than that, yeah, it was like, oh, like the feedback I've gotten just online and just in person, like you're saying, it's like, yeah, that worked, and it was like, okay. And to me, that is like the biggest praise in acting, and they were like, you're contributing to the story. You're not distracting or detracting from it. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's the same thing as like when other actors jump into iconic roles. Again, it's the pressure that they feel, isn't it? That they have to bring out the performance. But you have to look at it, they're not trying to perform like that actor in the beginning, like how it is when you saw them for the first time.
Yeah.
They're doing the prequel performance to a certain extent, where it's like, what was it like? And I have to be honest, if they do the Mr. Miyagi, I've read it once, I don't know if it's like I said, if it's true, false, I don't know, because they are planning to do like a Mr. Miyagi, a prequel Mr. Miyagi story, isn't it?
That's what I heard too. Yeah. Man,
please, can you do it? Because I want you to do it seriously.
I would love to. I mean, I'm probably going to be the last person that they're going to tell if they're going to do something like that. But yeah, I would love it. So
you all heard it here, right? Everybody, just give the man the job. He did a fantastic role. Just say, right, you're hired. Get on set.
Thank you.
sincerely, because obviously, you brought back such an iconic role. You brought it back. You did it your way. You weren't trying to mimic Pat Morita.
No, and I think that's the important thing. Where like, yeah, you can't. I wasn't trying to do Pat, because Pat's Mr. Miyagi. That's that, But at the same time, there are blueprints, and if it would be irresponsible and selfish of myself if I just completely ignored that too. So, there is a fine line that, like you said, that you have to take where you're like, okay, this is a very iconic role. People have a very specific, idea of who this character is. You got to take that into account as an actor too. But at the same time, you're like, okay, what else am I bringing to the table? And even though the scene was very short and I wasn't able to really do much with the dialogue, it's still there if you're in my mind, so when I am delivering the few amount of role and the lines in the role, it's like the intention behind it is still hopefully there, when it comes out. So but yeah, no, it's like you said, it's not a imitation, right? But I guess if anything, it's an homage to the character. Yeah. So
again, much appreciation for it, Brian, sincerely, and hats off to you, sincerely. Even though I'm not wearing one right now, but again, hats off to you for everything. But but if you get the opportunity to repraise the role, go for it, and I pray everything goes good.
Yes,
I pray everything goes good for you. Amen.
Thank you very much,
brother. No worries, brother. Okay, so one last question: as yourself as a martial artist, what is the most important advice to learn from the martial arts?
Honestly, I think martial arts teaches you discipline. And that's really and it's discipline in every aspect of it, right? So I'm a big advocate for, like, if you know martial arts and you get to a point where you really know martial arts, you're really not meant to use it, right? And I think that's the difference between people who learn martial arts and learn how to fight, right? If you learn how to fight, that's a different thing. That's great. But if you learn martial arts, there's a reason why there's art in there, right? It's an art form, and it's really a way to train your mind and your body, mostly your mind, to able to react to situations that most people who aren't trained aren't able to react. And then really make a decision. Your mind doesn't go into flight or flight. It's just like, oh, I know what to do in this situation. I can control my body, so it's not just like flailing about or like it makes me want to run. And it really just, again, comes down to discipline. It's discipline in how you're going to use or not use the skills that you have. So I think anybody taking the martial arts, it's the discipline is the number one thing. And from there, you have to have humility. You have to have respect in order to even get to that discipline, because you're going to start from absolutely zero. Even if you know martial arts, if you're going into a new dojo, Like you can't go in there thinking, oh, I already know how to do this. You have to be like completely clean slate. And that's all again, discipline to be able to be like, even though I know how to throw a punch, I don't know how to throw this punch, or
Yes.
like everybody around me doesn't know that I know how to throw this punch, and they're not expecting me to be able to throw something like that, and then they're going to be cut off. So you have to take everything, and the diligence of it, discipline, right? So, I think anybody listening to this, if you are thinking about martial arts, know that yes, it will teach you how to, fight, how to use that martial art, but really at the core of it, it's the discipline at the end of the day that you'll be learning. So, take that into perspective before you pick your martial arts too. So
definitely, yeah, because that's the one thing all my instructors, senseis, even boxing coaches said the same thing to me. They used to say, what I'm about to teach you, or what I am teaching you, use it just to defend your life. Use it to defend your loved ones. Do not become aggressive. Do not go looking for quarrels. Even if somebody wants to initiate a quarrel with you, be quiet, walk away. It takes the quiet one. It takes a strong person to walk away from conflict than it does to get involved. Because if you get involved with this, they are looking for trouble. You're going to be even more trouble than they are.
Exactly. Yeah, nothing never goods out of that. I think they're like when the old school martial arts I talk to, they've been that guy. They've been that person who, again, kind of going back to Miyagi, right? He probably was that guy, and then over his years of experience was like, no, it's not. Because again, I think Miyagi even says like, there's, no one ever wins in a fight. There's no winner. Like, I think everyone loses in a fight, and that's true. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not worth risking, at the very least, financial responsibilities for that, right? But that's the very least. I mean, it's not worth risking your life, the life of someone else, and something like that. So if you can run away, safely, right?
Walk away, yeah.
walk, run, whatever. If you can get away from it, then get away from it, right? And that's basically the discipline of martial arts, to know the situation at hand before you even get into it. Seeing that, this is starting to shape out in a way that could turn south very quickly. I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to take the people I care about, and we're going to go this way, right? It's getting that awareness and the discipline to be able to, discern. Okay, if I go this way, I'm probably going to end up in a bad situation. I'm going to go this way, even though this might be out of my way, but it's safer, so.
Oh, definitely, yeah, because at the end of the day, that person is just looking to get you into trouble. They don't necessarily hate you. They kind of, in a way, hate what you represent, which is
exactly
you represent peace, you represent a state of mind where their mind's probably gone off the rails a little bit, and they're just looking to bring you down to their level. But the whole point is, if they're down here, you don't need to be down there as well. You kind of up here in a way. So just walk away. Even if they're shouting insults like, "Oh, you're a wuss, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're a coward," just do the smart thing. Walk away. It's the same thing in Karate Kid Part 2, where Sato's always calling Mr. Miyagi coward, and the nephews are calling him Mr. Coward. But it's like, he's not being cowardly about it. He's doing the right thing. He's avoiding the conflict. But they push him too much, where he's like, no, not going to do it, not going to do it. And then he kind of gives into it. But then they come to realize, what were we fighting about in the first place? Absolutely nothing. Something that happened 40 years ago. We're not going to keep on going about it now. There is no point, because it does take, I'm sure there are times where each of us have wanted to get into some physical contact, become aggressive, but at the end of the day, what are we going to hurt other than our own reputation? There's no point.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no point, is there? Yeah. Definitely. Well, Brian Takahashi, thank you so much for coming on my show. It's been such an honor to have you here. You're one of the nicest people. Actually, everybody who I talk to is practically nice, and God bless them. Some of them even send me autographed pictures. William was actually the first person. I came home one day from a walk, find it then. Oh, he signed me.
Nice.
Yeah, he was just so kind. God bless him. And, I wish you all the best for the foreseeable future. I hope to collaborate with you again down the line. If I'm ever in the US or you're in the UK, always remember the coffee is on Addy. You remember that?
Of course. Thank you.
I remember just nothing too strong, just black coffee, isn't it? So
a little bit. I like to add a little bit of creamer to our non-dairy there.
Done. Yeah. I'll write it down on the list so I remember that next time. Definitely, yeah. But all the best to you. God bless you for everything, and just keep pumping out the great work. And this fan will be in the front seat every single time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.